Recently here on my channel, I did a comparison of 3 watches, 2 Tudors and a Rolex. The Tudors that were in that video were the Tudor Black Bay Pro GMT, and then of course the Tudor Pepsi GMT. That Black Bay Pro I thought was awesome, but there was one major flaw: its thickness. It was about 15 millimeters thick, and that is a very thick watch for a watch that has 200 meters of water resistance, but isn't really a dive watch. Today, we're going to take a look at a watch from Saint Martin that is an homage to that watch, and its thickness is only 12 millimeters thick. How did Saint Martin get this right and Tudor did not? I don't know, but let's flip the camera and take a look at the Saint Martin Vintage GMT. So when I first saw this watch on the Saint Martin website, I knew I had to have it in for review. This is the Saint Martin Vintage GMT. This is an homage to the Tudor Black Bay GMT Pro, which is a watch that I absolutely love. However, they did change a few elements on this watch that I think make it a little bit more aesthetically appealing. Now, I probably would never buy the Tudor because I always end up selling Tudors. So I buy Tudors and then I end up selling them. I don't always keep them, and usually I end up losing money on them. So this might be a watch that I would keep because it's really good looking in my opinion. Now, what they have done here is obviously you have a black dial, but they have put lume on here that is patinaed, and it's very heavily patinaed. You get that same lume on the hands. The hands are in a gilt tone, not in a silver or white tone, not very similar to that original watch that we were just talking about, the Tudor Black Bay GMT Pro. Also, the Snowflake GMT hand is in a slightly different tone as well. I really like what they've done with this. It makes it very warm looking on the dial. Very different from the original. So it's not a direct homage. Now, they do make one that is pretty much a direct homage of that watch. This is not that version. This does not get the NH34. This gets the Hangzhou movement, that is the 6460. So it works essentially the same as the NH34. So if you're interested in either one of them, I believe this might be slightly thinner than the version with the NH movement because this is a thinner movement. Technically, I would say a higher grade movement. Even though it's made in China, it's based on an ETA movement, and of course that is the 2836. So you do get functionality where you have a jumping GMT hand rather than the jumping local hour hand, which is perfectly fine and actually very, very functional. As functional as a GMT where the local hour hand skips. It's a little bit easier to use when that happens, but I think this works just as well. Of course, the second hand is also loomed. Both the hour and minute hands are loomed, and you have that little snowflake on there as well. And then of course you have a snowflake hour hand. All of that is loomed, and then of course the dial is loomed. The indices are loomed, excuse me. So we'll do a loom shot towards the end. You have the logo at the 12 o'clock. They also give you the option for no logo on this watch. I believe you get that option on the NH34 version. And then of course, right above the 6 o'clock, it just says GMT, automatic, and 100 meters of water resistance. So you do get a solid steel bezel with a 24-hour track on here, screw down crown, which is signed with the Saint Martin or Saint Martin logo, whatever you want to say. And then of course, you're getting a very similar case to what you get from Tudor. You have that sort of slab-sided case on both sides. You get a really nice edge of polish on the top of the case, and then on the bottom of the case, there is no chamfered edge, but it's not sharp. It's actually finished very, very nicely. And then you have solid end links. There is no quick release, but there's space to get a spring bar tool in there. And then of course, you have the Saint Martin bracelet. They always do a great job with these bracelets. So this is an oyster style bracelet, but you get big screwed links, polishing on the side, brushing on the top, and the buckle. I always say the buckle on these watches, they really do a great job because it's not your typical micro brand buckle. And technically they're sort of an AliExpress brand, so that's really good. and it's really high quality. So this has the Saint Martin logo on it, but it's not just pressed into the actual clasp. This is a little plaque, and it's actually curved as well. So it's pretty hard to do. Very nice. And you have big oval buttons that sort of remind me of what you get from Omega. Big giant screws in the links, so it's very, very easy to unscrew. Automatic, the Hangzhou movement, pretty reliable. It is an ETA clone, and I hear reliability on these are actually pretty good. Now, let's do quick measurements. This should be just about 40 millimeters. Thickness on here, and as I mentioned, this is thinner than the NH35 movement, or NH34 movement, I believe. So that's 12.4 millimeters thick. That's pretty good. That's including the boxed sapphire crystal that you have on here. So it's boxed and domed. Very large crown, 6.9 millimeters, and they put female end links on the bracelet. So we have a true lug to lug of 48.1 millimeters, 47.7 at the bracelet. So the effective lug to lug is the lug to lug. There you go. Really good looking watch. Very quickly, let me give you the model number for this. This is the SN054-G. That is the one with the Hangzhou movement in it. If you want the one with the NH34, that is the SN0054. Now there is a price difference. That watch with the NH34 is $259 during the 11/11 sale. However, this watch is a little bit more expensive at around $300. So both of them are on sale. I personally like this one better, and there's one reason why. You cannot get this dial on the NH34 version. They're not offering it currently. So that means you either get the white dial, black dial, you don't get the gilt indices, and you don't get the lume that is sort of patinaed. Also, you have that minute track that's sort of in a patinaed color as well. I really like the warmness of this dial. I think they did a great job. It looks phenomenal. I really do like this. And of course, it looks like a Tudor, and but looks a little bit different. It almost looks like a vintage version of the Tudor. Why not? I guess it's, you know, it makes sense. It looks good. Anyway, very quickly, let me show you what I have on my wrist. Then we will do a quick lume shot because, like I said, this does have lume, and usually Saint Martin, great job with lume. So I have the bel canto on today. Really no introduction needed. This is grade 5 titanium, head only. Bracelet is in grade 2 titanium, so obviously already scratching, but really good looking, crazy looking watch that I'm really enjoying. So here is the Saint Martin on my 7.5 inch wrist. And I mean, this is nice. And I think it's actually thinner than the Black Bay Pro, which I think is in the neighborhood of around 14 millimeters thick or 15 millimeters thick. I remember because I did do a comparison of that watch against the other Black Bay GMT, the Pepsi version, and of course the Explorer 2, the 42 millimeter version. And I remember saying, I really love this watch, but it is so thick. And I think if I bought it, I would end up selling it because of that, and it would bother me. Anyway, very quickly, a lume shot, and then we'll wrap up the video. So BGW9 on everything. So the indices, the hands, the second hand, the GMT hand, everything has BGW9 on it, very liberally applied. $300 for this watch. I would imagine it's exactly the same components, lume, hands, all the components, just different colors on that NH34 version. And it is about $50 cheaper. So it's really a decision you need to make. Do you want that Hangzhou movement, or do you want the NH34? Completely up to you. The NH34 might be easier to service long-term. However, I think that the NH34 and the Hangzhou probably are very similar service-wise and reliability-wise, because the Hangzhou is based on an ETA movement that, again, anybody could service. ETA movements can service that watch. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, this also gets 3 years of warranty, which I think I forgot to mention. So 3 years of warranty is excellent. That's, you know, they'll be around. Saint Martin are selling watches like crazy. They're very, very popular. So 3 years of warranty is very good. And obviously they'll be around to honor that. So why not? Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Homage watches, I know are controversial, but I gotta say, this is a really appealing watch, especially considering the price and the little details that they have done here, a little bit different from the original Tudor it's an homage to. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I wanna hear from you guys. Please, also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.